Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Ubuntu Touch Q&A. It's episode 132 now, streamed live on this wonderful Saturday, 20th of January, 2024. So it's very exciting to be able to bring you the news of the recent 2 weeks again and what happened over the last few weeks. A little bit of community updates and what else are we gonna take? Absolutely, what do you think? What we are gonna tackle on?
Yeah, today we do not have a lot of questions from the forum. So if you have questions in live, don't hesitate to ask them and we will try to answer it for our best.
Yeah.
For the news this week, I saw news about update on Ophono. So I think that's a good improvement. I see they give infinite total connect retry, so I guess that helps to keep the phone connected to the tower.
Mm.
Also, I saw battery improvement. So I don't try to find the merge.
It's a very
There's
comprehensive list that we have here of
yeah,
things that have changed
the
over
list is
time.
quite long,
Yeah,
and but there is a lot of some fixes or some, but I don't think anything really meaningful like you like the big updates and stuff like that. So it's
yeah,
just the small things that makes the life easier for everyone.
yeah, right.
Because if you don't have a particular bug, maybe your neighbor has them.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are a few changes coming up that are trying to make everything as smoothly as possible. Make everything work as smoothly as possible. So, yeah. But one of those things is also a little bit, if I might sneak some Snap stuff in again. I have been working on a little Snap um, for specifically use on the ThinkPad or other tablets running Ubuntu Touch, like the Pine Tab 2, where you have a development IDE for WebAssembly running completely on your device, whether it being an iPad, a ThinkPad, Mac OS even. I want to show this off real quick because it's running on the Snap Store. It's shipped through the Snap Store right now, and it's also available on the Apple App Store. If anybody wants to contribute something like other packaging formats, then sure as well. Go ahead and let's do something. Let's make that work. But I will try to just make this uh, available here. Can everybody see my screen now? Can you see my screen now?
I don't. So,
Uh, at the stage. There we go. There we
yeah,
go.
that's okay.
There we have it. So this is Tide running on the Jingpad right now with two screenshots showing off what it does. Here we have either the Python REPL where you can just do some basic maths on it and little hello worlds and whatnot, and do some maybe even fancier things by running Python scripts even. So that is possible with Tide. But also a little C++ and C example of how it works with a C++ compiler. And here I have it with the iPad build running on the Mac. It's doing pretty okay-ish, if I might say so myself. I mean, this is a little benchmarking app which it cuts through really quickly and makes sure that it works pretty well. It also has this Python uh, interpreter right here. So, like, I don't know. Let's do some math here, and we can even filter like standard out from standard error with the press of a button, so that it just shows the very necessary error messages or things that you've put into the input field, so that everything is just smoothly filtered. Or you can even debug those things pretty easily nowadays with breakpoints and whatnot. So or not, maybe it crashes on you. That has been a little example of what it can look like. It's not finished yet, of course, but I want to make sure that this works pretty well. Also works pretty well on Linux again,
Yeah,
with it running okay-ish on the Jingpad, and even better so on the MacBook Air here, with Asahi Linux, with Asahi Ubuntu specifically. So that is cool, and I can only hope that it. My long-term goal is to integrate clickable into this, so that we can do clickable development, like Ubuntu Touch app development on this thing, and just integrate it well into whatever it wants to integrate it with.
yeah.
Um,
So that's
so yeah,
great because I don't think I never told you that, but when I first have an Ubuntu Touch device, it was a BQ M10, the
okay,
tablet, and my goal was to have a mobile development station to
yeah,
perform some developments in situ on the machine and to also develop for Linux desktop applications. So that was my goal. So your idea is quite the thing for me.
yeah. Yeah, that's the goal. That's pretty much the goal. Just making sure, or building snap packages using Snapcraft, also using this IDE. So those two things I want to integrate very soonish, so that it can be useful to a wider audience in whatever situations they want to take it to use
Yeah,
with. Right? So yeah,
so
what?
that's great. Um, Also on the news, I wanted to say today I'm wearing my Belgium bracelet for my for my watch
Yeah.
because next week I will fly to Brussels in preparation for the first dem in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we will have a live stream from there. At least that's the goal, and we will try to make it happen.
Oh yeah.
Also, I think it's yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to meet all of you guys if you can make it to FOSDEM because yeah, I think it's a huge gathering of people similarly minded, I would say.
Mhm.
To yeah gather around and geek out about the FOSS community and specifically UB ports for us. So I can't wait to be there and to
Oh
see every
yeah.
one of you.
Yeah, especially with all the opportunities that talking to those folks who just come across the stand, for example, and stuff like that. So that is the one thing that I'm mostly looking forward to, meeting those people who are interested in Ubuntu Touch, and let's see where we can make it grow.
Yeah, and what I like also is people that didn't know that Ubuntu Touch was still alive.
Yeah, it
So
will always
I
be
like
there.
to spread the word around, and yeah, I hope we can grow our community even larger and bring some new people on board and
Mhm.
have some great developments for this year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So as we said today, I think we don't have much. So I think it's time to give a shout out to our sponsors.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to thank Smooth, Voya, and Pine64. Also, DigitalOcean, Cauldron, Netlify, and Gandhi.net. So thank you to our sponsors, and I think I will let you butcher the name of our patrons.
Okay, yeah, sure. So let's go. Where do we have the list? So the patrons that I'm gonna mispronounce now are Luigi 311, Heather Ellsworth, Martin McFly Jr., Rondarius, Spendierhose, still phenomenal name, Piquet, Kenneth Drew, Daniel Franchak, Robin Hood, A. Thiel Taffetson, JT, Will Edward, Gardner and Associates Consulting Inc., and Tixia. Woo! That was a run.
Yeah, congratulations. And
Yeah.
so if you want to help us continue what we do, you can head to ubports.com/donate. Every donation is widely appreciated. And I'm not paid by the foundation. I don't think you are too.
No.
So we are just here to help. But every donation goes to some developers that do the hard work to keep our beloved operating system up and running. So thank you all.
All right. So with that, I think we should head over to the questions from the forum now. We do have a very interesting question here from the Mad Gamer for you.
Yeah, so the Vance Gamer asked, when will epics on GitLab be properly managed to indicate current features, issues being worked on, who's working on them, since when it's being worked on, and the estimate for completion. This could accelerate development because contributors wouldn't be asking around to see if someone is already working on X feature or Y issue. They could just check there and instead find something that isn't being actively tackled and then proceed to polish that up.
Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting to see a proper implementation. I don't know in my personal experience if it's a real issue. If really people have this friction that they prevent them to go and tackle some task. But hey, I think it could be a great thing to at least make GitLab more useful for everyone who wants to contribute.
That is something that definitely can be talked about in the development sync every week, happening every week, and it's getting announced every time it happens. So in the development group, if you follow that in Telegram, you can join there and bring the issue up. I would say. I mean, it's the Vance Gamer. We know that person. In a good sense. So, next question is from Pedraik. This is with regards to snaps. It's great to see that Canonical have renewed emphasis on snapd on other Linux distributions. Would it make sense to approach Sigma to see if this might extend to work on with UbiPorts? I would welcome the helping hands of everybody who wants to make sure that it works with Ubuntu Touch as well as possible. I mean, I've put some efforts in there and work in there, so it's gotten to a point where you can make use of it. And if we want to improve the situation and someone wants to help us here, please go ahead. Let's do this. I mean, for example, the Tide IDE was just demoed as a Snap package. So it was a snapped up version of a Qt 6 application, even built against the Snap environment and run on the Snap environment. So I think that's a win. And if we can make sure that more people are getting interested in this and helping out here, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it would be great to, and it's actively being worked on. So yeah, Snap, I think, can be a thing for Ubuntu Touch. I already said that in the last
Yeah.
Q&A, but yeah, I'm really enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, me
Mhm.
too. And I mean, let's be honest. The app selection was very much of a pain point in the early days, and now we are able to get a few very cool applications from the Snap Store because they are there, and we can consume them. Doesn't necessarily mean we have anything against Flatpak or whatnot, but if anybody wants to make the Flatpak thing happen, just go ahead and help us. With that out of the way, I think we should head over to the next question.
Oh, I will just add some coda to that. I just saw recently, I think it was yesterday evening, a post on Reddit about someone asking on our Linux where you should go to find some mobile OS for so not Android. And yeah, many people commented about different OSs, but some of them mentioned Ubuntu Touch, and some common critics were about yeah, so the App Store and
Yeah,
how many apps we have. And it's right that since the move to Focal, the number of applications has diminished, but I think at least it shows what are the projects that are still active, and so if it can also motivate some other people to just fork the project they liked and they miss,
mm,
just to contribute also. It's not difficult at all to just fork it and recompile it. I think it's just a first step and in many cases, I think it will work. For more complex application, I think it will be more difficult. But
yeah.
for the simple stuff, I think many applications can be just ported like this. So it's just a matter of having the manpower to do this.
Pocket VMs, for example, is one example of where there are new dependencies and a lot of dependencies built into the click, and it was pretty easily switchable between Xenial and Focal, and nothing should prevent me from bringing that over to Gemmy in the future, or Noble, as the goal is now with 2404.
Yeah. So yeah, good segue to the next question from Equario.
Mhm.
They ask, what are you looking forward to in 2404?
Wow. Well, I personally have some plans, especially with making sure that power saving and power efficiency modes are very easily accessible now through a menu in the system settings. That's something I'm working on. I'm also hoping to see some. I mean, I've seen some movements regarding backup and restore again in the community. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. That would very much make it easy to switch between Ubuntu Touch devices very, very quickly, just by like switching over contacts with the Nextcloud client, for example, or with the Nextcloud integration. Just restoring something from a locally hosted Nextcloud instance and call it a day, like we are used to from other platforms. So yeah, that's something that I'm looking forward to the most, and of course, snaps. To mention it the third time now. Uh, of course, that needs to be pitch perfect, and let's see where we can go.
Yeah. For me, 2004 is a premises. It's a lot of premises, and the first one I want to mention is just keeping up to date with current LTS releases.
Mm,
I think it will bring some stability, ease of porting to a newer version. I think there's a lot of work done on Focal in order to achieve that.
yeah,
And so this brings for me, huge potential of improving application, because the time and effort we do not put into maintaining just the OS and the core features, then it can go into more apps and different users experience. So I guess, yeah, it's just some lock that can be just unlocked with that, and maybe it's just a way forward for the future. And that's why I said in the previous Q&A that for me it was maybe the iPhone 3 moment, just being able to push it forward. And so yeah, for me that's my hope for 2404, to see that okay, porting now to a newer version is easier.
Yeah.
And it took what, 3 years to move to focal, and hopefully 6 months to go to 24/4.
Yeah, we took the hard parts already. So, like the branching scheme and stuff like that, and the way that we do development on the development branches, like that has improved over the past few years, so that we can achieve this pretty much. Not making any promises right now, but it's looking not too shabby for that. So, do we have any questions in live chat right now? Please keep in mind we're not going to mention any questions regarding specific devices.
Yeah, but I will also answer it, because I think it's we have not many questions, so I think it's nice to just
Yeah,
remember people that you can go to devices.ubuntu-touch.io to check if your device is supported. If your
yeah,
device is not supported, then you will have to make a custom ROM for this. You will have to make a port. That's
yeah.
name in UB ports. So you can head to the forum, or also to the documentation online, to see how you can try to port Ubuntu Touch to your device.
Right. So, what else do we have? Yeah, there's okay. I'm not gonna mention it. Screw it. The Nexus 5, whether it would get the newest Ubuntu Touch, and no, it's not gonna look like it's gonna get a new release anytime soon. Nobody's working actively on it, at least from what we can tell, and it's pretty much not gonna get support out of the gate. So, yeah. Um, Maybe we have something in Telegram. No. Okay, this is going to be a very quick episode then.
Yeah. Maybe we can mention the last question that was asked in the forum and
Sure.
answered already. But yeah, so Halagiri
Alagiri.
asked, I feel the airplane mode toggle switch position may be shifted to some other place, so that accidental switching on off of airplane mode avoided. Is there any mobile device without Android? So I think it's a separate question. So that we can install Ubuntu Touch and use. We have not got VoLT so far, but now 5G is going to replace VoLT. Why not we go far higher side? Is it not possible? Also, why not we go for pre-installed Ubuntu Touch devices with dual boot functions?
Oh well, the dual boot functions that I would like to tackle. I have talked about this in the past, and it's not feasible from an end user's perspective to just switch between two operating systems. I mean, some vendors do provide that. More power to them. But in the end, if you are in one device operating system and you have your contact in the other operating system, and you can't easily call someone because you forgot to move the account around, then tough on you, right? So with that, I mean, it's certainly possible to be done, but it's not feasible from a end user's perspective who just wants a phone. They don't want a toy; they want a utility that they can rely on, and that's pretty much where we draw the line.
Yeah, that's right. I wanted also about the airplane toggle, the flight mode toggle. Yeah, I think it's just personal choice. In my experience, I never had a miss switch from
Yeah,
airplane to not. So yeah, I think it's a personal decision, personal opinion, and sadly, we cannot satisfy everyone. We cannot make a highly customizable operating system like Android is, because we do
right,
not have the same manpower.
right.
Just basically, it's very difficult. So you can always modify your version, or you can ask people to show you where it is, and um, so people will help you find where it can be.
Mm,
So you can do the modification on your own device. But or maybe if you have more time and get more involved, you can then tackle to have an option to I don't know, generically move the different items from the different menus. But
yeah,
I
let's
think
not
it will
get too
be,
much into detail. This can go very, very,
yeah,
very confusing very quickly. Rest assured, we we would like to have some customization capabilities for sure, but it all needs to be testable. It needs to be verifiable that it doesn't break anything that is completely unrelated with the code. So keep in mind modifications, sure, but please modify responsibly.
yeah. So that's why to go deeper in customization, I think it requires someone with I think professional training, or at least a lot of experience
Yeah,
with development. So the person knows what they are doing, and
yeah,
how to do it properly, so everyone else can understand the code afterwards.
pretty much. All right.
Uh,
So
and there was
we're
also the part about 5G and VoLTE, and
yeah, voice availability is still a pain in the in the neck, but let's let's hope that we can show something off very soon. It's I'm not the one to call the shots here, but I don't know. It definitely needs some improvements, and I mean, 5G support itself is gonna land. I'm pretty sure very soon. If not in this OTA, then sometime else. Let's not make any promises now, but 5G support itself should be doable. Calls over voice over LTE and 5G, maybe not so much right now, but let's see what happens.
yeah. And as Marius already said multiple times, VLT is really difficult because every manufacturer has their own implementation.
Yeah,
Every operator has their own implementation of it. So yeah, it can be really tricky to just address everything.
right.
But
All right.
yeah, let's hope that someone cracks the code. Many people in the open source community are working on it, and hopefully someone will make a breakthrough.
Well, so that marks 29 minutes of this live Q&A. If nothing else happens, I think we can just wrap it up. So let's have our teas, our coffees, and maybe ask a question or two. And yeah, do you see anything popping up right now?
Nothing right now, but I saw one that we can discuss if you like. That's also Equario that that just joked about now we have smartwatch support.
Oh yeah,
And
right. Yeah, the rock work and those types of applications, they start to shine. they start to work pretty well. And I mean, I don't have my wristwatch with me right now, but it from what I've seen myself and from what I've been able to toy around with, it works pretty well now, and gives you notifications. It even gives you notifications when you do try to do something privileged on the phone,
Hmm.
uh, and makes it very funny to take a look at. So yeah.
Yeah. Hikra just had a mass fish with the PyTime, works great. So yeah, personally, I was interested in PyTime when it came out, and I didn't bought the development kit because I don't have the time.
Mhm.
But yeah, for me, it could be a great project. By the way, I mentioned my watch earlier, and it's just a mechanical one, so
Yeah.
nothing fancy. But yeah, I think having support for smartwatch for people and even what is the sport trackers and some kind of other wearables, I think
Mhm.
that will bring Ubuntu Touch on another level, because and that's why we need more apps.
Yeah.
We need more people tackling those kind of problems because it will help someone. And I think off camera, the previous time you mentioned that you were quite fond of your. I think it was the Pebble, or
The Pebble Watch. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I was using that one with Rockwork. Pretty works pretty well and pretty functional. And I can only look forward to more improvements on that front because it looks great.
yeah. So yeah, and it was also because someone else in the community liked its People Watch
Mm.
and pushed you to have it. You give it a go, and now you love
Yeah,
it too.
getting pushed into the right direction.
Yeah, just a bit of motivation.
Yeah, right. All right. So I think that wraps it up for this week.
Yeah,
It was very nice to see a lot of people here again, asking questions, and let's see what happens over the course of the next 2 weeks.
yeah,
So
and we will see you in Brussels then. And I hope if you can make it to the first dance, then I hope you will come to the stand and talk to us in person.
oh yeah. So with that being said, thank you for your support, and again, if you want to donate to us, help us out, uberports.com/donate, and yeah, that's that's been it for this week. Take care,
Yeah,
everyone, and
it's been a quick one.
we'll see each other
See
next time.
you. See you. Bye bye.
Bye. And stream.